Hi everyone, I'm Ginny Washburn, founder of iMoveU. Welcome to another set in the series Take 10. Today's yoga vinyasa flow has an added emphasis on your thighs, so get ready to feel the burn. Let's start in tabletop position and do some cat-cows to warm up your spine. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Take a deep inhale, lift your gaze, lift your seat, drop your belly towards the floor. Exhale, arch your back up towards the ceiling, drop your gaze, pull in your abs. Take a nice cat back. Inhale, back to cow. Release your belly towards the floor. Exhale, into cat. Just close your eyes and take two more here. Deep inhale, lifting your gaze. And one more exhale. Arch your back up towards the ceiling. Slowly come back to a neutral spine in tabletop. Extend your right arm out in front of you as if you were shaking someone's hand, and extend your left leg back behind you, pointing your toes. Drop your left hip, keeping your hips parallel to the floor. Pull in your abs, relax your shoulders. You should feel an oppositional pull, stretching through your right hands and then pressing back away from you in the opposite direction through your left toes. I think this is very symbolic of how we often feel in life, being pulled in opposition. But feel that dynamic energy as you push through your left toes and reach out through your right hands. Now draw your right arm out to the right, left leg goes out towards your left. Pull in your abs, lift that left leg as high as you can. You're working your outer seat muscle here, your gluteus medius. It doesn't get used all that often, so can tend to be a very weak muscle. So hold it here as best you can. Breathe deeply. And then come back into that starting position. Bend, you can hold here, or you can bend your left leg. Reach back with your right hand, lifting your chest. Feel a nice release through your chest muscles. And then straighten your hand, straighten your arm, straighten your leg back out. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, bend your knee, bend your elbow. Bring your knee and elbow together underneath your belly. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 5 more here. 1, 2. Don't forget to breathe. Pull in those abs. 3, 4, and release. Time to switch sides. If you need to take a second and roll out your wrists, go ahead and do that. Come back to a tabletop position. This time extending your left arm out as if you're shaking a hand. Right leg goes back, toes pointed. Pull in your abs. Shift your weight back towards your hips just a bit, just to take any tension off of your right wrist. Bring your gaze maybe a foot in front of your fingertips, your right fingertips, to keep your neck in line with your cervical spine. Now, using and contracting your core muscles, left arm out to the left, right leg out to the right. Keep it nice and high. See if you can keep that leg in line with your hip. I know you're feeling this. I'm definitely feeling it. Breathe deeply. A few more seconds here. Come back to our starting position. Bend your right knee, option to reach back with your left hand lifting through your chest. Extending your arm straight out in front of you, leg back behind you. Let's go into those crunches. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, crunch. Really contracting, squeezing those muscles in your core each time you bring in your elbow towards your knee. 5 more. 1, 2. Don't forget to inhale, exhale. 3, 4, and release. Now from here, come into plank position, placing your hands underneath your shoulders, fingertips turn slightly inward. Step your legs back, feet hip-width apart. You have the option to stay down on your knees, point your toes up towards the ceiling, or come up onto the balls of your feet. From here, hinge forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, tuck your toes under, come into downward facing dog. Let's hold here for just a few seconds. You can alternate bending your knees if this is your first downward dog of the day. Maybe shake your head yes, shake your head no. Then bend both of your knees, press your sitting bones up towards the ceiling. Feel that nice extension through your back, through your spine, and then slowly lower your heels towards the earth as you straighten your legs. Look towards your hands, bend your knees deeply, get a little springy, and then you can hop, step, or jump up to your hands. Forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Option to place your hands on your calf muscles. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up, raising your arms up overhead. Sink down, bending from your knees into chair pose. Shift your weight back onto your heels and look down, see if you can say hello to your toes. You should be able to see them underneath your knees with your weight shifted back. If you have any issues in your shoulders, you can come to a wide V arm stance, or you can bring your arms down by your side in downhill skier. Think about lifting your chest, chin parallel with the earth. And then from here, bring your hands into prayer. Twist over towards your right. Bring your left elbow on the outside of your right knee. Look up towards the sky. Press your left elbow into your right thigh as firmly as you can. That'll help create more of a twisting action. Twists are wonderful detoxification poses, helping you to wring out anything unwanted in your body. It not only helps with digestion, but it also helps just get rid of those negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Each inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then slowly come back to center. And twist on the opposite side, bringing your right elbow to your left knee, the outside of your left knee. Pressing into that elbow, allowing you to twist even deeper. I know your thighs are burning. Hold here. We're almost finished with this pose. And then come back up into chair. Sink even lower. Drop your weight back into your heels. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to a standing position. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Close your eyes. Take a few cleansing breaths in and out through your nose. Notice how your body feels after that sequence of poses. Notice how the energy is just moving through your body. Now from here, we're going to come into 5-pointed star. So take a nice wide stance with your toes pointed out on the diagonal. Raise your arms up, out overhead, and then sink down, bending your knees, hands in prayer, into horse. I have very tight hip flexors. I know many people do. So if you have any kind of tension in your hips here, just kind of weave back and forth, ease into it. Then sink even lower, tuck under, upright your spine. Imagine as if you're pressing your back up against a wall. You want your shoulders stacking over your hips. So from here, bring your hands out in front of you. We're just going to do a few pulses here in horse pose. And if you're familiar with bar, if you've taken some bar classes, You might also know this as second position. A great way to work your thighs. At this point, your thighs should be burning. You may even feel like they no longer belong to you, but stick with it. It's time under tension that helps to lengthen and strengthen your muscles. Keep in mind that if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So from here, open your arms up, twist over towards your right, rotating your toes, knee tracking over your ankle, opposite knee underneath your hip. From here, we'll pulse. In a lunge position. Whew! I am feeling the burn, and it feels amazing. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back to center, horse pose, and rotate over towards your left. Again, knee tracking over your ankle, opposite knee underneath your hips. Pulse here. Almost done here. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back to center. Sink nice and low. Interlace your fingers, palms away from the body. Start to press your knees back, 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 back. You can lean forward, kind of almost as if you're riding a horse. Giddy up, pony. Let's go. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo! Release into star pose. Hands back in prayer. From here, turn your toes inward. Feet parallel or toes pointed a little bit inward, but keep a nice wide stance. Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide-legged forward fold. So place your hands on your hips. Relax your shoulders back and down. Pull in your abs. Keep a nice flat back as you hinge forward from your waist. Come as low as you can. Bring your hands down towards the floor and allow gravity to pull you closer and closer. Use your hands to walk back in between your legs, increasing the stretch. Keep a small micro bend in both of your knees, but feel that release through and that stretch through your hamstrings and through your calf muscles. Now, if you want an extra added shoulder and chest stretch, you can interlace your hands behind you, drop your hands towards the earth. Just hang out here for a few breaths. You also have the option to grab your toes, pulling your closer, grab the back of your calf muscles, whatever works for you. And this wide-legged forward fold. Try to keep your back as flat as possible. 2 more cleansing breaths. Inhale through your nose, out through your mouth. And slowly walk your hands up. Heel toe your feet in. So they're a little bit wider than hip width apart with your toes pointed out. And then sink down into squat pose, also known as malasana. So here, bring your hands in prayer and then place your elbows on the insides of your knees. Allow your elbows to press in your knees, opening your hips, and then press your tailbone down towards the earth. See if you can upright your spine even more. Close your eyes and just rest here in malasana. And breathe deeply into any tension that you might feel through your hip flexors. There's a saying in yoga that working within your pain-free range of motion. So you're going to feel some intense stretching and strengthening, but yoga should never be painful. 2 more breaths here. Then when you're ready, if you're ready to try crow, which is a really fun, invigorating balancing pose, place your hands on the floor in front of you and bring your knees to the outside just above your elbows, using your forearms or your tricep area as a balancing option for your knees, for your legs. So you can keep both feet on the floor as you kind of hinge forward, bending at your elbows. You can play with lifting one foot and then the other. And if you feel ready, lift both feet off the floor in crow. Now with this pose, it's just as much about balance as it is about strength, core strength. So you really have to find that hinge that allows you to balance here. And then when you're ready, come back to the mat and let's take a seated position, finishing with a little bit of ab work before we do some spinal stretches. So sit back, lay all the way back on your mat, extend your legs up into a pike position, take hold behind your thighs, lift your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat, draw your chin to your chest, arms out by your side, palms facing the ground, start to pump your arms. Pump, 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 pump. This is called hundreds. You may have seen this in Pilates. Pull in your abs. You have the option to keep your legs here, or you can extend them out on the diagonal for even more of a challenge. Pump, pump. Exhale sharply with each arm pump. I should be able to hear you breathing if I was in the room with you. Nice audible, loud breath. You're working your transverse abdominals, and those are connected to your diaphragm. So the stronger the exhalation, the more you're engaging your core muscles. Let's do 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, release. Hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side to release your low back. Keep your left leg up, drop your right leg onto your mat, and then draw your left knee over towards your right, extending your left arm out in the opposite direction. See if you can drop your left shoulder towards the mat. Option to turn your gaze towards the left. Feel a nice stretch through your spine. Breathe into the twist. Come back to center. Hug your left knee. Bring your right knee in to meet your left. Give them a nice hug. Relax your left leg onto the mat. Twist your right leg over towards the left. Right arm goes out. Turn your gaze towards the right, dropping your right shoulder, keeping your knee in line with your hip. Breathe deeply into your right side body. And then come back to center, bring both knees in, squeeze them together, curl up into a little ball, forehead towards your knees. And then exhale, release down to the mat. Nice job. Namaste.